for joining. Of course, back here with Justin. Got some good feedback today. We're going to dive into kind of just GameSquare in general. Talk about what the company does. Also how they look at acquisitions. We'll hear it from Justin. But first things first, Justin, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, good, good. No complaints. I know you're talking about some upcoming quick travel, so uh, good luck there. Um, but hey, going on. I'm gonna throw this to you. Imagine we just walked into the elevator on the 20th floor, and I ask you, "Oh, tell me about GameSquare." How would you intro it?
Yeah, totally. So I think the main part that I sort of always go back to is that our focus is on connecting global brands to this ever growing end audience, being esports and gaming communities. So what we're doing is we really sit in between the brands and the audience. So from my time at FaZe Clan and learn a lot about the gaming industries and different areas of monetization. And I think we're really focusing on the high margin areas within this business. So we're building out a media business within gaming that's focused on the digital marketing agency verticals. So currently within the portfolio, we have 4 assets, and we're continuing to grow. We have an agency asset on the talent influencer side in the UK called Code Red. We have an agency business more on the brand side, which is the largest actually independent media business within gaming and esports, called GCN, based here in Los Angeles. And we'll dive into those in a bit more detail. And then we have 2 team-based assets. One in Mexico City, which is a League of Legends franchise, and we actually have a Crossfire franchise based out of China. So interesting part here is both are profitable, which is pretty unheard of in team orgs within esports. So we're really happy with those. They give us nice end distribution and optionality. It's not a huge area of focus for us in terms of growing out our team assets, but it really does give us sort of nice cross-selling and a lot of eyeballs, especially as we really continue to grow into a global business that'll really help in new markets. But for now, our focus really is on North America and Europe, and really growing out our agency business.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's dive into the agency business a little bit. Obviously, already seeing some questions. People say, really, is this? How does they're asking, how does clientele work? How does, of course, the agency make money? How do you find these select gamers or people to support, and just walk people, I guess, through kind of that process on how an esports agency is kind of ran?
Yeah, totally. So agency is a funny one, right? I think it's quite broad because there's a lot of different areas that you can sit within an agency business per se. Our influencer talent agency in the UK, Code Red, is very different to our agency GCN based here in LA. So I'll kind of walk you through both at a summary level. Code Red definitely do some consulting projects as well, but their core business is really looking after influencers and talent within the gaming world, and being able to identify opportunities for those talent, be it brand deals, events, activations, those types of events, and being able to monetize through the sort of talent agency type model. I mean, they have a really nice business. They're profitable. They've had really nice growth in terms of revenue, and we would expect them to be growing up to sort of close to 5 million revenue this year and profitable, and that's Canadian dollars. But they're a really nice talent business. So we have a talent team, so they source new talent, whether it be gamers, broadcasters, media personalities within the esports and gaming world. Kind of moving over to GCN. We're really bullish about their organic growth, run by a couple of guys, Keogh Wimmer and Jeff Griffith, who have a host of experience working at Fox Sports and building out their kind of digital presence, media experience with Jeff coming from Curse Media, which was acquired by Twitch. They're building out a world-class team, and their sort of pipeline of brand projects are incredible and really exciting. But they are a kind of soup to nuts creative ad agency within within the gaming and esports world. Building out a media business in this industry, they have a real competitive advantage over traditional agencies because they understand their audience. And this audience within gaming is really fragmented and quite hard to reach. So they have a number of partners through websites and other sort of publishing capabilities where they can amplify campaigns and programs and events to really reach huge audiences and get eyeballs that brands are obviously after.
Yeah, no, extremely interesting. We'll do a deeper dive, into this part of the business for sure. Code for it. There's going to be a ton of questions. So here are two that I know I've seen. One is kind of what's the process? How do you guys pitch a brand? How do let's say, for example, Nike wants to be a brand or whoever. How do you guys pitch them to come on board and hey, take a deeper dive, work with us? We've got some great, influence, whatever it might be. So that side, but then also the other side. Everyone likes to look at creators and, you look at 100 Thieves, Optic, FaZe, all these people kind of picking up creators to, of course, push their brand. How do you guys work in that kind of element in that, that kind of industry, that structure, with Twitch, you look at upcoming talent. How do you guys pick upcoming talent is a great question that I know I've seen. So kind of a bunch of things. I know I threw them back at you. So would love some clarity.
Yeah, no worries. So again, there's a few parts in here. Where with the pipeline of work that GCN has at the moment is incredibly exciting. We actually just announced a partnership with Van Wagner where we're running the NCAA college esports tournaments for the next 2 years, which is the biggest college esports tournaments that have ever been run. It's incredibly exciting. We have a number of large pipeline projects that we'll be announcing soon with some of the biggest sporting leagues in the world, as well as some of the biggest orgs within this space. So it's an interesting one that you say in terms of, not only do we touch brands, I think you use Nike as an example. Again, how that would work is we would either have Nike's sort of traditional agency of record come to us, because what we're finding is a lot of traditional agencies are sort of dipping their toe in the water here and realizing that there's a lot more within this industry that they don't know, and actually looking to outsource. So we get a lot of outsourced work from agencies of record for big brands, as well as actually partnering with orgs like 100 Thieves, FaZe Clan, and others to actually help bring in brands that they don't necessarily have access to, and also to amplify tournaments and events that they're doing, because we have partner relationships to be able to bring eyeballs to events and to campaigns. So there are a number of different touch points that we have with brands as well as with orgs within this space. We can go and pitch an entire campaign that we would produce and implement and execute on, or there are different touch points where we can consult and assist and help amplify. So I think we have a real competitive advantage in the space from that standpoint. In terms of influencers, it's an interesting one. When I was at FaZe Clan, if you look at FaZe's sort of talent roster, most of the talent are hundreds of thousands to millions of followers, and a number of their guys have 4 to 5 to 10 million followers, like really, really crazy numbers. And those types of guys are starting to become media businesses within their own right. And that's not the space that we play at within Code Red. So, again, differentiating the two, we have our brand agency business based in the US, and we have our talent agency business in the UK who can work together really well, because as we put together these campaigns and build events and tournaments and charity streams and different content opportunities for brands, within that they require talent. So, we obviously having in-house an influencer and talent business is very helpful. And our business, obviously there is turnover, but, we're more in the 20 to 200,000 followers of your more kind of hardcore gaming esport type influencers who have really high engagement and lower turnover, and that seems to be working really well for us, rather than going after your ninjas and your Nick Mercs and these types of guys who obviously have huge benefit and a huge audience, but that those types of guys are becoming media businesses, within their own right. That's not so much the space we play in.
Yeah, interesting. Some great clarity there. So obviously, thank you. Amazing clarity, actually. And I know if anyone at this point has questions, please drop them below. Justin is just a bowl of information and expertise here, especially with the phase background. So obviously, thanks for this. I'm curious, on the other side, let's talk acquisitions. Just in general, what do you look for in an acquisition? What makes an opportunity? What's something, hey, this is worth exploring? What are kind of the factors, the selection criteria, if you wouldn't mind giving some highlights?
Totally. So it's an interesting one. We've been lucky enough with myself, Kevin Wright, who's the president of the company based out of Toronto, and Jan Newmaster, who runs our European operations based out of the UK. The three of us, I think, have a lot of experience within this industry, and through our connections, we haven't had anybody going and sourcing M&A opportunities on our behalf. We've had a lot of inbound, as well as through our connections, touch base with a number of sort of interesting sort of target assets. And so for us, target assets at the moment really sit within the agency sort of digital marketing verticals. We are still interested in growing out the talent agency component of our business, especially here in the US, as we have the asset over in the UK that's performing really well. So we are interested there, but the real focus is UK, North America, building out digital marketing agency verticals within gaming, and also crossing over into traditional sports. We've had a couple of really interesting conversations with digital media and creative houses that sit more within traditional sports and entertainment. They're looking to build out esports and gaming presence, which we really do sit at that intersection of esports crossing into traditional sport and entertainment, and will continue to do so. So in terms of what within that vertical are we interested in, it sounds a little bit cliche, a little bit corny, but really good people. We've had a couple of opportunities that we've actually overlooked, nice assets, but we've had some issues with certain people, and have found that it may be hard to build a really strong working relationship with. I think given our model, we're building out what we consider to be, hoping to be the biggest sort of media player within esports and gaming. And within that, we're not looking to roll up every acquisition we make. Obviously there's sort of M&A engines that look to buy companies and roll them up. That's not what this is. We are very focused on organic growth and getting capital into GCN and our other assets within our business. And we feel that we're going to really grow organically, as well as adding complementary M&A. So this isn't just a revenue buy. We're looking at high growth revenue assets that are profitable. So that doesn't mean that everything has to be profitable, but we really think that in this space, there are a lot of entities that are burning a lot of cash. And at some point in the near future, as this market starts to mature, there's going to be a lot of question marks around, how do you get to profitability? And we want to be firmly sitting there. Our aim is to be, the biggest, publicly listed media business within gaming that is profitable. And we're on the way to achieving that as we continue to scale with profitable businesses. So I think it's high revenue growth at the moment. It's UK, North America, digital media marketing type assets that fit within that world. That are EBITDA positive, and that we can continue to get capital to and really help grow and scale. And the last point I'll add to that, I know I've kind of waffled on a little bit with this one, but the last point to this is really that people, often look at this sort of industry in the same way as they look at traditional agencies, and they're very different, right? the end audience that brands are trying to reach. Like this industry is extremely fragmented, so this doesn't need to be a roll up play. We're looking to bring in businesses that believe in us as much as we believe in them. That we can create a really healthy system in which they can grow much quicker than they could on their own. They have strategic support from our corporate team. They have the backing of our capital, and but overall we're not in their business every day, looking over their shoulder, telling them how to make daily decisions. We're there to help guide, strategic direction and get them capital. But overall, we've been finding that works really well.
Yeah, incredible. I love the point you touched on. You see a lot of these companies acquire other companies just to throw revenue on the books. You're actually trying to build something, I would say real, with real synergies, and grow through kind of the media arm. So fantastic. Obviously, thanks for hopping on. I'm sure we're going to do synergy kind of video, talk about the industry in more detail, how it's fragmented, what you see on the ground, and kind of also very interesting that, NCAA and these other kind of sports to esports crossover. I know that'll be a great topic to cover as well. So Justin, look, thanks so much for joining. Those are some I don't want to say tough questions, but some detailed questions, and you knocked them out of the park. So thank you so much. Anything else about GameSquare, just in general, you wanted to kind of cover?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'd say, and it's to your point there. I mean, this is a long term play for us. We feel that the industry is still in very early stages. We feel that we're really well placed from a competitive advantage standpoint, but we aren't looking to bring in businesses, as we said, to buy revenue, which we could do in the short term to really try and boost share price. Early days, but we know questions will come, and we're trying to build a really strong, sound company for the future, and we think fundamentally that this company is incredibly well placed for future growth.
Awesome. Well, Justin, thanks so much for joining. Safe travels, and we'll chat in a couple weeks.
Cheers. Look forward to it.